All right, let's get right into it. If you've ever worked in an organization and wondered how on earth all the moving parts are actually supposed to fit together, well, you are definitely in the right place. Welcome to this explainer. Today we are unlocking the strategy hierarchy, and we're going to put a special spotlight on functional level strategy, basically the real engine that drives the entire corporate vehicle forward. So, let's kick things off with a massive question. How exactly do those lofty, pie-in-the-sky corporate visions translate into actual daily success on the ground? I mean, it's one thing for a CEO to stand on a stage and declare some bold new direction, right? But it is an entirely different, incredibly complex challenge to ensure the hundreds or even thousands of people actually working there know exactly what steps to take on a random Tuesday morning to make it happen. To figure that out, here is our roadmap for today. We'll quickly cover the overall strategy hierarchy, touch on the corporate and business levels, and then really dive into the functional strategy engine and its architecture. After that, we'll look at the absolute vital importance of alignment, and finally, we'll tie it all together with a fascinating real-world look at Walmart.
Okay, moving to part one, the big picture, focusing on the strategy hierarchy.
A great way to think about organizational strategy is to picture a set of nesting dolls, or maybe a cascading waterfall. One strategy perfectly nests within the next to support the whole operation. At the very top, you've got your corporate level strategy. That cascades down into the business level strategy, and finally, it hits the ground floor at the functional level strategy. Every single tier is completely reliant on the others to keep the company moving in the right direction.
Let's move to part two and briefly glance at the top tiers, the corporate and business levels.
So, orchestrated by the CEO and the senior executive team, corporate strategy asks the genuinely massive questions. It's all about deciding the total scope and direction of the enterprise. For instance, imagine if McDonald's suddenly decided to diversify from fast food and start manufacturing industrial kitchen equipment. That right there, that is a prime corporate-level decision. It defines what industries the firm should even be playing in.
Now, drop down one step and you hit business strategy. This is where things get highly competitive. It's all about figuring out how to outmaneuver your rivals and actually satisfy customer needs in a specific market. So while corporate asks, where do we compete? Business level asks, how do we win once we get there? It's about strategic positioning and gaining a clear competitive advantage.
But here's the real distinction I want to make incredibly clear for us today. While business strategy is essentially your game plan for the market, functional strategy is highly specific. It's the game plan for your employees. It deals directly with the everyday actions inside individual departments, like HR, operations, and marketing.
Which brings us right into part three, the engine room. Let's talk about functional strategy. If you have ever sat at your desk and thought, how does my daily job actually matter to the CEO's grand master plan? Well, you are operating right here at the functional level. This tier is fiercely dedicated to maximizing resource productivity. It's about taking experts, whether they're brilliant marketing folks, finance whizzes, or R&D scientists, and using them effectively. It's about coordinating those activities, making sure purchasing, inventory control, and shipping are completely synchronized within operations, all with the ultimate goal of boosting daily operational performance. At this level, a highly focused, constrained plan provides the tactical guide that directs employees' daily work. Without this, honestly, even the absolute best corporate vision will just spin its wheels while your competitors race right past you. Functional strategy dictates the actual day-to-day actions, maps out exactly how teams need to interact, and defines how functional goals are going to be hit and measured by the end of the week.
Moving on to part four, functional architecture and how it is driven by immediate data. Because this level is entirely about daily operations, managers simply can't rely on abstract market trends. They need hard, fast numbers. They track performance using immediate, highly specific quantitative data. Things like unit cost to measure efficiency, or exact percentage of defects for quality control. They look at sales per employee or inventory turnover. Having this data readily available allows functional managers to make those absolutely crucial, on-the-fly tactical adjustments to keep the engine running smoothly.
Okay, part five, the power of alignment, looking at vertical and horizontal fit.
Listen, having great strategies across all these levels means absolutely zero if they aren't working together. That is where alignment comes in. Horizontal fit ensures your marketing team and your operations team aren't accidentally going to war with each other. If marketing is pushing a premium, expensive product, but ops is solely focused on churning out high-volume, cheap goods, you've got a disaster.
And vertical fit guarantees the daily grind actually pushes that grand CEO vision forward. The golden rule here is to establish procedures so departments do not work at cross purposes.
Let's make this concrete in Part 6, Strategy in Action, with a real-world look at Walmart.
Let's anchor all of this theory by looking at how Walmart utilized incredible functional agility during the absolute chaos of the early COVID-19 pandemic. They didn't just sit in a boardroom updating a lofty 10-year vision. No, their operations team executed precise, functional-level daily actions. They instantly implemented CDC guidance, they drastically ramped up facility cleaning, and they proactively rewired their supply chain to handle an unprecedented, massive surge in demand. These were purely tactical, operational maneuvers executed flawlessly by the people on the ground.
And the result of that hyper-focused functional strategy? Because they adapted so quickly at the ground level, they didn't just survive the disruption, they thrived. In fact, thanks to those precise functional steps, the Walmart grocery app registered a staggering 460% growth in average daily downloads by April 2020. That is the power of the engine room.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought, something to chew on the next time you sit down at your desk to start the day. Is your daily work truly aligned with your company's corporate vision, or are you just spinning your wheels? Just remember, the grandest corporate strategies in the world rely entirely on the tactical, everyday actions of that functional engine room. Thanks so much for joining me today, and keep looking for those crucial connections in your own work.